All right, guys, today we are going to talk about when is the right time to sell your Pokemon items to maximize their profit for yourself in the Pokemon TCG and how you can use Pokemon investment in 2022 to your advantage to be able to make this happen for you. So, before we do this, guys, I got to do one thing. That is right. We are in our new studio. That's right. I finally got it to the point where I can actually move in. Yes, I don't have any of my display stuff up. I'm going to have some investment stuff over here. My shelving, we'll probably get all the investments down in here. Definitely keep that stuff in location so that way you guys can check it out when we're actually talking about things. And I'll be able to have better access to it rather than being 6-7 miles down the road. So definitely fun. Actually nice to get this taken care of. We're really having my sister's kids are going to be staying here. My wife's going to watch them over the summer, and my wife pretty much said that obviously can't keep all my stuff inside the kitchen any longer because she's going to need all the space with 5 kids in the house. So I finally pushed it and got it done. So now we will be down here now for lives, for my videos, and of course just to hang out and chill and talk about things. And you'll be able to see this room mutate. So guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and as always, hit that like button, guys. We get 70 likes on this video. Greatly appreciated. It helps us out a ton. Also, just a quick reminder, box break down below. Of course, if you want to be interested in jumping in on Brilliant Stars, check that out. Definitely join in on that. They'll be next Saturday here on May 28th. I know it's already the end of May. This month has flown by. So definitely click on that. There's still a few seats available for that. And last but not least, let's just get right into the meat and potatoes of this deal, which of course is, when is the right time to sell your Pokemon investments? What do you need to do to make these determinations, and what are the best methods for you to do that? So first of all, I'm going to just sit here and say, if you want to see the full series, I will put that up above me here, starting at the beginning with Evolving Skies, where we purchased it in December. We went through and we actually sold it in March, explained why we were selling it with the fear of reprint, and started that process. How much we sold it for and the actual amount that we made on it. Selling it through TCG Player. Now, TCG Player may not be the best option for most people when it comes to these big title products, but definitely the place we use because of the amount of views. So, you know, you got Feebay and you've got TCG Player, Toad Troll. All of them are pretty high. But once again, it's all about who's seeing the product and how quickly they are seeing it will be helpful. So if you're trying to sell things quickly, definitely something to keep in mind. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Brilliant Stars, because Brilliant Stars is about to get a massive reprint according to my distributor. According to multiple LGSs that I've heard and talked to, they are talking a ton of products. So I don't know if this is a outcome of Pokemon buying Millennium Group printing, or if this has just been a planned reprint. But literally, the allocations are way up there, and the distributors still have multiple products in line. So we're looking at potentially a huge decrease in price on Brilliant Stars. Now, I can't promise anything. This is just a speculating based on the numbers that we're seeing. But I could definitely see these booster boxes falling just like they did with Evolving Skies. We might be seeing $95 to $100 booster boxes of Brilliant Stars. And let's just say that you can get Brilliant Stars at $95. It's just kind of an interesting concept that you could pull this off. There might be some great opportunity to pick up, like we would do, 5 cases of these booster boxes, 30 boxes total, and put them away. Now, there's 2 options that you can always do with anything that you purchase in the Pokemon TCG. You can either go short term or you can go long term. And the biggest difference between the two, of course, is short term, you're trying to make profit quickly to be able to turn that into the next item. And that's typically what I'm going to do with Brilliant Stars, especially with Ultra Modern. Still in the reprint system, still doing that, the whole in rotation, everything kind of going on with that set. There's great opportunities at that point to make short-term investments on that and definitely make some money quickly. But you could always look at the long term. But today I'm going to break down the process for short term. So let's just say you're getting ready to sell this stuff. You've already bought it. You bought it at $95 a booster box. At what point do you want to sell that? What determines that profit margin on when you want to be selling this item, and how do you figure that? So the one thing that I will tell you is, for me personally, I try and get 25%, 20 to 25% profit margin on booster boxes. I'm not usually in a huge rush to sell them. I have time. It's not like I'm in a rush. But I also make the determination based on the next reprint. Evolving Sky is a perfect example how I almost felt rushed at the end because a reprint could have happened at any point in time. Brilliant Stars could be the exact same way. If we start seeing that set increasing in price rather quickly again, even after a reprint, another reprint may not be far behind that because it is a tournament set and it is a playable set. RCS decks are very popular right now in tournament play, and if that's the case, there's always the opportunity for that next reprint to come. So watch that. That also makes a determination on how quickly I'm going to be selling this, but typically I try to see at least 20 to 25% on booster boxes. So with Brilliant Stars, a perfect example, if you get it at $95 a booster box, I'm going to probably wait until it gets up to about 145. Now, I know a lot of people in their head are thinking, well, that's a lot more than 25%. And you're right, that's actually closer to 38%. But if you see my video on Evolving Skies, what happens when I'm playing the wave system and I'm trying to get views and trying to sell these items, I definitely watch that resale point, and I will actually shoot for 145 because after your fees, shipping, all the other things that go into the processing of these things, you end up losing quite a bit to TCG Player. 13% usually goes right to TCG Player's pocket without even doing anything. Then you got shipping. You're going to lose that kind of costs on it also. You're also going to lose just your general insurances and things like that for the shipping processes, taxes, material, packing, papers, all those kind of things, all add up over time. The other thing you got to think of too is possible income tax on the other end. If you're making too much and you push yourself into another tax bracket, you might be paying more taxes on these items. On the other end, definitely a reason to get a business license, guys. Definitely talk to your advisor or an accountant to definitely make up your mind on whether you should do that. If you're going into the volumes that we are, it's usually a good idea, and there's definitely opportunities to get some tax exemptions and things like that too. That we're currently switching. I just talked to our accountant, and we're making some switches there. But make that determination. Find that number that you want to sell it at, especially on the short-term flip. If you're looking at it for 5 to 6 months, go, I want to make 20%, figure that, plus all your fees to be able to get that. That'll give you a number on what you're shooting for. I use PokeData.io to really watch these items. Be sure that they're going someplace you want them to. If they start moving, PokeData, you can line them all up on side of there. And definitely PokeData.io gives you the ability to see everything over on a screen to see when they're getting closer to the numbers that you want, because it lays it out right there for you. It's almost like a stock ticker to be able to keep track of where your performances are on these and give you a good heads up. So I use that in conjunction with spreadsheets. I use spreadsheets or Google Docs in order to be able to keep track of my inventory, which will be over here in the near future. And that way I know locations of stuff, how much I have, how it's performing, and that way I know where it's at when it comes time to sell these items. That way I can definitely get them out quickly without having to dig through storage to find them. So these are all techniques that you can use to be successful. Now you're asking, what's the difference between this and long term? And the only thing that's really going to change in the long term is the short term. You're playing the reprint game, and you're always concerned that the next reprint could knock that pricing down and put you backwards. But when it comes down to long term investments in the Pokemon TCG, you get out of reprint, you get out of rotation zone. There's no more product coming, guys. Whatever's out there is out there. And typically at that point, it's the demand that drives a set. So popular sets will accelerate quickly, while your smaller, maybe like a Fusion Strike, Battle Styles, and Chilling Reign may move a lot slower. What's going to happen to Evolving Skies when we get out of rotation with this set, guys? Just think about that. It's a very popular set. That evolutions are hot. Everything's moving really good on that set, even now, with in rotation and in reprint zone. And what's going to happen when this thing moves out of reprints? When there is no more coming? When it's left out on its own because Pokemon's moved on to the next 5, 6 better sets? Well, that's when you got to be watching these things, and then you can play the game of where it's going to max out. And typically what I do is I watch market trends to see where it plateaus. Now, most sets have an opportunity in 4 to 5 years to hit what we call a plateau. That's where they're going to come up, and then at some point, people are just not going to buy it any longer because it gets too expensive. And then as time goes on, that plateau will move up and up and up slowly over time. But in general, it's very difficult to exceed that quickly. That's where you get the slowdown to where if you're not holding it for your own collection, it might be time to sell that item and get it out of your inventory so that you can buy the newest and greatest thing, or buy your best collection piece. You want a gold star. I've got all these booster boxes of Evolving Skies that have been sitting here for 5 years. Each booster box is selling for $500, and I paid $100. if I sell 10 of them, I'm going to have $5,000 sitting here. I might be able to buy a low-end Gold Star. I might be able to buy a PSA 10 Gold Star or a Level X, or even some first edition cards that are really expensive. So definitely those things are out there. Definitely some options to be able to use these things as tools for yourself in the future. Now, once again, I don't know if Evolving Skies is going to go to $500. Completely speculation, me just throwing numbers out there, having fun. So don't quote me on any of this. I don't know if it will do it. If out of all the booster boxes right now in Sword and Shield, Brilliant Stars and Evolving Skies are two that I would put the best chances on it, but I'm definitely never going to tell you it will or it will get close. It's just a throw out number out of my brain. So definitely these things are things to consider when you're going to sell these long-term items. Try and use other sources other than TCG Player, other than eBay, and other than Toad and Troll, just because percentage-wise it makes more sense to maybe talk to your local LGS because they might know people that are looking for these items. Also, a lot of times I will put them up on Craigslist. Craigslist is a great opportunity because there's no fee. The only thing is I meet with someone in town at a undisclosed location, at a gas station or at a police station if it's expensive, just to be sure that there's no problems and the security's there for my safety and so that they don't come back here and be able to know where they're getting this stuff. And that also gives you the opportunity to sell these things with no fees. Facebook pages such as Pokemon World 2.0, I like that site. There's a lot of items for sale, a lot of older stuff coming through. Do not overprice on that site. You will be bashed to death if you go more than 10% over market value. They will be very accepting of you at market value. If you sell it at market value, nobody complains, and they actually have good conversations, giving you offers and things like that. So you can definitely work with people on that end of it. But if you are actually looking at selling this stuff and you try and throw a really high price on this stuff, number one, you're going to get laughed at. Number two, nobody will talk to you. And number three, you'll be blacklisted on that site where people will laugh at you and never give you a time of day. So these are things to keep in consideration. You should always be building rapport when you're trying to sell things in this hobby. The more rapport you have, the more people you have that understand that you know the product and you are knowledgeable in it and you are selling things at a fair price, you will be very successful in the sales things. It's actually given me a lot of opportunities on the sales part of the Pokemon TCG. So once again, guys, this is just tips and tidbits that you can use to be able to know when to sell and how to properly sell these items in the Pokemon TCG when you're investing in Pokemon. And this is how to start investing in a Pokemon and definitely build that rapport. We've got other videos out there. I'll see if I can find them. And if I do, I will put them up here in the screen for you, of course, right now, just so you can find it. And if I did bring you good information, guys, as always, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and hit that like button, guys. We can get 70 likes in this video. Greatly appreciated. Once again, pretty dull, pretty bland in here, but it will be changing. We will be having some updates, and then I will pan around the room when I get everything all set up and done. But other than that, guys, if I did bring you this good information, check out these two videos over here. I will put them up for your information afterwards, as always, and I will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.